Hey, I'm back on Instagram.
It's going pretty good, isn't it?
I still don't understand gambling yet. So
How do they quantify that?
you know the best part of retiring?
Well, he's alive still.
Crazy stuff is going on in my sleep when I take it.
This is your weenus.
Yeah, my weenus hurts.
I don't want to make it weird, man. I don't want to make it weird.
Angela has to beg for scraps.
Would you ever, or do you ever aspire to compete?
How would you try it?
You know what? You suck.
Don't anyone say anything.
Influx of Swifties.
That she's a witch from like 200 years ago.
This session of the Rich Froning podcast is brought to you by Uncancelable by Angelo DeChico. This episode is presented by Whoop. Performing your best every day requires an understanding of the relationship between your physical exertion, mental load, sleep quality, general health, and your body's ability to bounce back. Optimize your training and recover with Whoop. Use code MAYHEM for 15% off at whoop.com. Use the team invite code COMM-MAYHEM to join the Mayhem Athletes community on Whoop and be included in giveaways and exclusive offers. Can you hear me now? Scott sucks at his job.
Check.
Hello, yes.
Only
Scott,
one
I'm
time.
here.
Only one time ever has Scott failed us, and that was just right now. So I guess you got a pretty good track record, you know? But guess what, Scott? You're no longer batting. Actually, we did a whole voiceover section, and Scott had it on the wrong channel or something. I had to do the whole thing over again.
Oh, yeah. What was that for? The bear video?
Bear video.
Yeah,
Maybe it was just God trying to tell us not to release it, you know?
it's true. But no, I had
Didn't listen.
I had
Have
to
we
get,
already-
the
have we already
ghost
told-
is out.
The what?
I'm saying the ghost is out of the system.
The ghost is out. Okay, we're
Ghost
good to
is
go.
out, so I don't know what you've heard us talk about for the last
Well,
little
I'm
bit.
probably going to clean that up.
Nah, I don't clean up anything.
Well, they're not going to
I'm
hear
just
anything
kidding.
you
I'm
said.
just kidding. But maybe they don't want to hear what I have to say, you
It's
know?
been cleaned up.
We could, you know, what we could do is we could use AI to just like subtitle it in Russian,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
I heard that
See
goes
what
well
happens.
for
I heard
people.
it well.
Yeah.
The have we already told this story? You remember like long ago? I don't even remember. You must have been. I think you were going towards your last individual title. Super busy guy. I was looking for an interview. You generously gave us some of your time, and you were on your porch. We did an interview, and we were pretty much wrapped up. And so, but the chick was an intern in my ear, and I was like, okay, cool, you got it all. And she's like, I could just hear silence, and then hear the fear in her voice, and she's like, oh, I thought you guys were just chit chatting, and she didn't hit record. And I was like, hey, Rich, you can think I'm joking, but we're going to do that whole thing again.
Honestly, I don't remember.
Oh, you were not happy.
You were telling-
you were visibly not happy. It was really funny.
You know what did suck
I
is
probably missed out on like a 1,000-meter row or something at
Yes.
that point, thanks to you.
during the Ohio whitetail hunt,
Mm-hmm.
I had Rich mic'd up, and he was mic'd up for 3-4 hours the first and second day, and it worked every single clip. The whole setup worked every clip, except the clip where he shoots. It's like a 1.5-minute clip. The receiver of the lav shut off for one clip.
So you can't hear anything. It's gonna be complete silence.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'll
Yeah.
do my magic, but yeah, there's no audio.
You're just going to download some like ambient noise.
So Rich, you hear you normally hear the bow go off, and Rich is like cheering with Kenny, or no, Dwayne. in the blind. Won't hear any of that.
Not gonna hear anything.
hey, just for fun, just take the audio from us shooting the truck and just lay it over and see if it
Yeah.
works. See if it
Or
works.
just take Angelo's because we already did that anyway. You know, like somebody's calling Angelo out on his.
Yeah, that was my fault
How'd you
too.
change? How'd you change? Put your hood up and shave your
You
face
didn't have a
paint?
hood on, and which one's fake? And you're like, well, technically they're both real.
Yeah.
It's just a continue. I noticed it too. I was like, we got a continuation error here. But Angelo
I
on
saw
the day
it.
before is like practicing his
Yeah,
draw,
Before.
and then making sure you don't hit anything and nothing's in the way.
Yeah.
And that was the draw shot. Because I was like, he's not anchored
There was
on his
no draw
like,
shot.
I saw you. I was like, he didn't anchor his nose or anything. And then I'm like, wait a minute. He was wearing like a muff and all this stuff, and he's not wearing it.
There's no draw because it happened so fast.
Yeah, and he
couldn't
was
even
on the
turn
deer.
camera.
He was
Yeah.
on the deer too. So
Yeah, Ben had it right, and I'll take credit for that. I told him to change it because I wanted to see.
you wanted the dramatic effect
Yeah.
of the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
People
want to
freak
give you a
out.
lot of credit for that. I thought it was really patient of you to not shoot that buck that was just sitting there waiting for you.
With one antler. He didn't
Yeah.
want it because it had shed already. you know?
Oh, fair enough.
It shed
Yeah,
back in
yeah.
October.
Instead, you could have got both. You could have got
Yeah.
both. Maybe you're
2 for 1.
You're already limited out, huh?
If you don't pay attention, a lot of people. I think someone said, "Oh man, I don't know where." Maybe I was showing someone there. Go, "There's another deer in front of you." I think I was showing somebody the video, and I was like, "No, it's the decoy."
I wanted to say something smart ass, but I was like, My contribution to Mayhem Hunt shouldn't be that I'm always just making a smart ass comment like every single time.
Yeah, it should be.
So then I just pulled back.
It can be your character.
It's just the MO.
Yeah, someone commented and said, we should get more Bird on here. And I said, I actually thought it was too much.
I saw that.
No, Bird commented that. He said,
Oh, was that
yeah,
him?
it was him.
It wasn't
You
his
didn't
account.
recognize him because it's Josh Bergeron.
On
No, it was a
YouTube,
different
says-
account.
No, it was a different account.
I
I
could
think.
have swore it was Bird.
He was
saying
on there
No.
doing something else, but it
It was probably one of his buddies or
that. Oh,
something.
okay. I could have swore it was.
Yeah. Say, give me more Josh, and then like in quotations, Bergeron. And I said, I actually thought it was too much.
Yeah, I could have swore it was him that commented that. Okay, I just must. Oh, you put the main character seems like a nice guy. Dwayne commented on there.
I told
Oh
Bird
yeah, sure
to
enough,
say.
Adam Haynes. We
Yeah.
need more Josh Bergeron.
I
Adam
told
Haynes
Bird
came
to
out.
say it'd be a good one next year.
Be a good, yeah. Be a
That's
good
what
one
it
next
was.
year.
That's what it was.
That was on Instagram. That was on.
Hey, we
Instagram.
got big news.
Which one?
We got big news.
We got a couple big news. Hey, I'm back on Instagram.
That is big news.
Kind of.
That is big news.
Kind of. I have the Instagram app on my phone. I don't actively really like go through DMs or anything, but it is me posting now. So
I like. I think that's
obviously we still have to put some sponsor stuff out there, that
Yeah.
type of stuff. But
the coolest part of it is like responding to questions or responding to like comments and
yeah,
whether they're questions or you're just being you. I
yeah,
think people eat that up.
yeah. So I feel like I've not let it control me. You know, like I haven't
Yeah.
had it for 3 years, so it's not. There's no urge there to like go sit and just waste time.
Yeah.
Scroll mindlessly.
I was kind of the same way. Like when I got to 1.5 million followers, I was like, I'm just gonna kind of let it go for a little while,
I'm out.
and then I just
I'm out.
dug back in. You know?
1.4.
Took some time back.
Post a couple killed animals and you drop down 1.4.
Did you
Yeah.
drop down 1.4?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd say that 100,000 followers is a small price to pay. You know?
Yeah,
Like
you know.
more-
Oh, it's,
I mean, the animal paid its ultimate price, so
small is what I meant. Small price for the animal to pay.
Yeah.
No, the big news is you mentioned partners, and we've got a new big one.
new big one,
New big one that we're excited about. So
big as a mountain.
big as a mountain. Mountain Ops.
Mountain Ops, yeah.
So
We fired up.
I guess actually in general first, like here's what I would like to set the stage with is you're at a point in your career from where I'm sitting where, you know, I think that, and Angelo can speak to this, but if you're actively making a living and sometimes you got to kind of like reach and grab for claw for partnerships, right? Like you've done tremendously well. You've had some massive partnerships. And is it fair to say you're at a point in your career where you can be really
Selective.
selective.
Yeah,
or
for sure,
Not
100%.
choosy, selective. Like, so why do these guys fit then? Because
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I've learned across the years and that, you know, in the beginning, you're taking whatever you needed. Over the years, we need partners, like having partners. I think it's more important to partner with really cool people, companies that align with your values. And hey, they make really cool products, good products. And, it was almost like literally a no-brainer. If you look at the brand as a whole, you know, fitness and the outdoors are my passion right now. Fitness will always be. Outdoors I wouldn't say new. I've always been into the outdoors, but it's something that I can actually jump into now that I'm not competing as much. And so to have that, they make really quality products that I like taking, we enjoy. And then, you know, they have the faith aspect as well, which is pretty cool, which is it's very important to us.
100%.
So
yeah, and actually I'll throw myself under the bus and say, as we were kind of like looking at what was out there, there's multiple options, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everything from, hey, well, should we make our own product, to partner with people who have different audiences that lay over ours. And so like fitness is an obvious one, which you've done and built a career on. But what I think is really cool is at first I was nervous because I said, man, this is like,
you were not not that you weren't keen on it, but you were trying to be the
cultural fit. They were just always
No-brainer.
slam dunk.
Right.
But my nervousness was, hey, they're
we
coming
lose
from
10,000
outdoors.
followers every time I post something dead, you know? So like
Not even that. It's just like, you know, they're coming from outdoors and we're coming from fitness. But then in retrospect, and I'm glad that, you know, there was enough voices in the conversation, and they've been tremendous also. But the fact of the matter is, they get to introduce us to this thing that you're passionate about, and vice versa. Like obviously hunters are learning more and more. I think they need fitness, but they'll also get to see you and your habits and what you're all about. And hopefully that's going to draw them into what we've all been doing forever,
right,
which is fitness stuff.
Yep. Yeah, no, I'm super excited about it. It's going to be a really fun partnership. I think we can do some really cool things. I think it'll be super beneficial. We're actually going to make some new products
that was a big one for me, dude. The fact that they're willing to like listen to, hey, I'm Rich Froning. I know what my body needs, and here's some products that I think are missing from the
lineup. Yeah, no, like I don't know if we're allowed to talk about it. I can just say.
I think we can tease it a little bit.
Yeah, tease it a little bit. I think carb product was a big one. especially like a healthier carb product. I'm doing these longer endurance races, and in the mountains, you will need that at times. Like if you're on a hunt and you can't get food quick, like, hey, you got to keep the carbs up. As much as, carbs get a bad rap in the fitness area, you need them for fuel.
Yeah. Well, and every current product out there is usually like dextrose based or something that's like, it's great. It's like super effective and like massive hit, but it doesn't really align as well with the full lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah. And I'm not saying that you need it every single day, but it's a good thing to carry if you're doing a long event and you have limited space, or you need to get something in quick and easy on the stomach. So, don't want to give out too much, but a carb product and then kind of a non-caffeine beta product.
Yeah.
Yeti mode is incredible, but I try to not, when I'm not hunting, I try to limit my caffeine intake to the morning. So, it'd be cool to be able to have that beta product, that won't have caffeine. So that's kind of
get you perky, get you
perky, get the little tingles a little bit. When me and Scott hunt, when we're out west, when we hunt, we'll fill up a 96 ounce Nalgene with two scoops of Yeti, and we'll just take it back and forth all day. So when you starts to get those little lulls middle of the day or in the afternoon, take a hit of Yeti and you'll be all right.
Yeah, when we whitetail hunt, I can't take anything.
No.
No one will let me pee.
Yeah, it's true. We don't pee.
Me and Sam took a full dry scoop of Yeti mode on the shooting house.
Nice.
From on gun season opener, we were ripping dry scoops. I was actually texting Jake the whole time, and he's like telling all his friends, he's like, this guy's nuts taking dry scoops in the deer blind.
You were beating the mountain ops drum hard the whole time. So like, what's your kind of experience with them so far?
I think I saw just from the outside of like how well it aligned, and I think I had said something about how I wanted to like work with that, because I knew that like you guys had been talking to them. Maybe this was very early on, maybe not super early on, but like before anything serious had been talked about. But I posted the picture of my deer in November, and Jake actually commented on it. And Bird's like, hey, you're saying you like the mountain off stuff. He goes, that's the guy you need to talk to. And so I just like DM'd him like, hey, dude, like, is there any way I can try some of the products, because I'm like super interested? And he's like, yeah, of course. And then I was like, I was all for it.
Hooked. And dude, one thing I learned through this whole process is I'm funny, because I think we talked about this last time. Like, I've been taking supplements since before supplements tasted good. Since before they mixed well. Like, it's been a long time. So I'll be the first one to tell you that, like, typically I would just take whatever was around, Yeah. But when we were examining specifically, like thinking, we all sat down and we were talking about, hey, what's the best road forward? And hearing you guys' opinions on like specific inclusion of like, I've never thought about how much beta alanine was inside of my pre-workout. And I'm not embarrassed to say it. I'm just like, hey, this is what they thought. Sure, I'll take it, and it feels good. So I think it's pretty cool to also hear you guys' input on, like, you actually put some thought into.
Oh no, I can tell. I'm not gonna say I'm like a pre-workout expert, but I can tell if I take a pre-workout if it's missing beta, if there's not enough beta, in my opinion, or if there's too much caffeine for the beta, or if the mix, like there has to be, if you're looking for like the Yeti mode is a really high stim, high beta, everything's high. And so that's good for me. Like that's what I want. And if I don't want that much, I just do half a scoop. Like, it's like, it's kind of, it's simple. Like I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because I've taken so many different ones.
We keep coming back to Yeti, but that Slumber.
Oh my gosh.
Taking it.
It's the best gummy that I've ever. I told Jake this.
Well, you do the gummies. I do the hot chocolate.
The hot chocolate.
So good.
Get a little bit of almond milk. Get it, or whatever milk you want to take. I mean, you use whole milk if you want.
Or water.
It's good with water. It's better
with milk.
Better with some type of milk.
That's what I said, but then we're in Ohio. And
I'd never had it with milk until we had it in Ohio. I had it with water, and I thought it was great.
Yeah.
When I had it with milk, game changer.
Lights out.
You turned me on to it with water. It was still really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you got me flipped because I went with milk. Yeah. I mean, it's good with water.
Yeah.
It's incredible with some type of milk. And dude, it's fun. It's good to just sip on before bed, and then Hillary has made comments multiple times when she's like, did you take that hot chocolate because you were out?
Yeah.
Thing would happen at the house, and I don't even think about it.
Like, and the thing is, anyone who sees it will be like, oh, it's just because it's got melatonin in it. Like, you and I haven't been taking melatonin for a while.
Years, but it's affects me way different. Yeah.
It is so different. Like my dreams are vivid, which some people may not like, but I mean, I think it means I'm in a deeper sleep.
Yeah.
Like I have very vivid dreams anyways, and it like elevates them. Like I'm like crazy stuff is going on in my sleep when I take it.
What is going on here?
And I mixed it up just in a shaker with like cold water in Miami because we didn't have anything, and so I just drank it that way. And it was fine. Yeah. Tastes like chocolate.
Yeah,
protein
that one's
shake.
good. I mean, they're protein. They're just they're regular. Is it Ammo? Magnum. One's Magnum, one's Ammo.
I've been doing Magnum.
Magnum, and then the Ammo has the fruits and vegetables.
It's
in it,
more
which
of like
is
a meal replacement.
pretty awesome. But it's with some fruits and vegetables in it, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, we're fired up. You actually have to keep that one in the fridge. I don't know if you've been doing
really?
that. Yeah, Ammo you have to keep in the fridge.
Oh.
I have not done that.
You need to
I've
do
just
that
been
with
doing
Ammo.
the Magnum
Yeah,
right now.
Yeah, Ammo.
I'm glad you told me that.
Yeah.
The yeah, and so along with it, obviously there will be like the cool marketing stuff too, which is like they're gonna do
We get to do
insane
some
giveaways this year.
activations and
Lots of
have some fun.
activations, lots
Some
of
cool
giveaways.
partners within those partnerships.
Yep. And then to obviously introduce our crowd to them, like we were saying, Rich will have a bundle on Mountain Ops. And if you get the bundle, like even if you applied Rich's discount to every single thing in the bundle is still going to be substantially less expensive than what you get otherwise. I think it's got creatine, Magnum.
We were talking.
Hydrate.
Slumber needs to be on there.
Slumber should be on there.
It is a good. We use it a lot. So.
Yeah, agreed. So we'll get Slumber in there too. And then, just like when we launch, so you guys look forward to, when will this go out, Scott?
Next week.
This is going out the day we announce.
Oh, sweet. Okay, great. So then,
right now it is live.
so then starting.
Right now it is live.
I guess we'll have to do it on Instagram because I don't know all of the things that'll be involved, but there'll be at least 3 lucky winners who are going to walk away with like a mountain of their stuff. They make fantastic. These are their joggers. They make great all sorts of products, and so
you would say a
walk away.
mountain of ops,
a mountain of ops,
Opportunities.
mountain of mountain ops. Like include, I think it'll all come in one of their like
Operations.
really dope duffel bags too. And then a hunt giveaway later in the year, and lots of stuff to look forward to. So, yeah, I'm stoked, man. And I think the deal sealer was what you said is just
everything was cool about them, but the fact that they are like us,
yes,
makes a partnership so much easier, so much more authentic when it's us.
Yeah. First conversation I had with him, I was like, if I had any trepidation before, I was like, oh, dude, no, it's over. Like, Rich is gonna love these guys.
Yep.
Jake came out. We put him through the ringer.
Put him through some working out, some fitness. He was your partner.
I wouldn't
Bench
say
sled
that.
push.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
But then he outshone me later in the day. I think I sat at least one of those workouts out.
Did you do the row GHD one?
I did kind of.
I
did row ab mat.
That's fine. Hey,
and I think
fitness,
like another
scalable.
Degree, not kind, right?
That's right.
I think one of the things that might be even underrated a little bit for them, like Scott says that their merino, is it the merino hoodie, is like the best he's ever worn.
Yeah.
And I haven't tried it yet, but
yeah, it's great.
That's cool too. They have cool gear and like good like actual like merino hunting clothes, like base layer stuff. So it's not just like their gear is pretty sweet too. So
those gummies that Ro talks about are incredible too.
Yeah,
we take those a lot when we hunt.
Yeah, whenever we're elk hunting.
Protein bars are good. The double chocolate.
Double chocolate is my favorite.
So good.
Yeah, but I'm throwing those things down at night because you only get 4 or 5 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep each night.
Some quality.
Yeah.
What you're lacking in quantity.
Dude,
this
last year in Colorado, what did we average, like 5 hours a night or something like that for both the archery and the rifle hunt?
Yeah.
You know, like we've belabored the point, but the fact of like every time we talk about the rifle hunt, it's like, oh, it's a gentleman's hunt. The first year was a gentleman's hunt. You know, we got up at 7. We were in bed back at the cabin by like 3. I think that was because like Sam and Matt were leading the hunt, but this year we just
went off on your own.
Crazy.
Yeah.
This year was aggressive.
Yeah. It was an aggressive rifle hunt. So, yeah.
Fired
up about that one.
Me too. Yeah. People think it's just because I'm like the salesy guy, but it's not. It's like these relationships take a long time to come together. So there's a lot of thought, a lot of a lot of
especially
moving parts.
like you said, the older we get, the more experience we have. Like we want to partner with companies that we actually align with.
100%. So yeah, they'll be a big part of the future of obviously Mayhem Hunt, but also Mayhem Athlete and what we're doing at Mayhem. So you guys go check them out. The code is Rich20. Is that right?
Or Froning. I just read the ad read.
It's Froning.
It's Froning 20 or just Froning?
Just Froning.
Well, is the podcast one different from the normal one?
No.
Just Froning.
Yeah, it's just Froning.
Code Froning. Cool. And we'll have a landing page too where you guys can go see like kind of our curated content.
Mountain Ops has combined my two biggest passions, fitness and the outdoors, as well as sourcing quality ingredients. Mountain Ops Supplements has helped me get the most out of my training sessions in and out of the gym. If you want to start taking your results seriously, I've put together a bundle of Mountain Ops products. New and returning customers save 20% on their purchase when you visit mountainops.com and use the code Froning. That's MTNOPS.com, code FRONING. What should you be eating to reach your goals? The experts at RP Strength have it down to a science. Answer a few questions about your goals, activity level, and lifestyle, and the RP Diet app takes care of the rest. Get a year of nutrition help from RP Strength and RP Diet app for only $89.99 at www.rp.app/code/Froning. January challenge wrap up.
January challenge.
We're not announcing that on here.
We're not announcing them yet. Actually, the winner probably knows who they are, he or she. But we want to save that for social. But I just kind of celebrate. I used to be against, like I was one of the homers that was like, oh, I don't like people who join in January because it's,
we don't.
Everybody's got a resolution. They drop off afterwards. Now I've completely 180'd on that. And I think it's fantastic, man. So some of the letters and stuff that came in from people who got on board and were motivated to either start fitness completely or was rejuvenated was that's the kind of stuff that fires me up, man. So
I had a couple guys at work even do it.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, good.
Nice.
And how are they doing? Sticking with it?
I know for sure one of them was. I mean, we were working together like 2 shifts ago, and he was doing a bodybuilding workout. So
Heck yeah. That's cool. Yeah, it's good. Getting people that wouldn't normally jump in. $10,000 is a good motivation.
It is. Thanks, Rich.
Yeah. You're welcome.
It's not quite a truck, like you know.
No, yeah, we didn't give away $50,000, but
me and Angelo were just dog cussing
or something like that.
Dog cussing the guy who won the truck. I was like,
that's so cool.
Dude took my truck, man. I had it all planned out. I was gonna shoot my door.
Arrow to get Cam's attention, and then he was gonna select your name.
I mean, randomly selected. I thought we had a thing. I think he's mad. I think he's mad that I stayed ahead of him on the sled workout when he was here.
I think he probably made him mad.
It's all good. Nothing personal. But we'll continue to do.
Winners got to win.
What's that?
We'll have some more challenges throughout the year.
Winners got to win. Winners got to win.
We couldn't help it.
That's so true. Cam's been up to. He's been up quite a bit. Is he coming back out here anytime soon?
I don't know if he's coming back anytime soon. We do have some stuff maybe in the future we're going to work together on. I don't know if we're allowed to announce that. We won't yet, but I think we had a pretty cool thing coming up this spring-ish, summer-ish.
Okay.
So,
well, then let's talk about the other kind of cool connection that you made recently.
Went out to Bozeman, Montana. Got to meet the Meat Eater crew. It was super cool. Went out to HQ there. I don't even know if that's what they would call it, HQ. Got to be on the Meat Eater Trivia podcast.
Which you were a little bit nervous about.
I was extremely nervous about. I do have the Meat Eater Trivia game, and a lot of those questions are nearly impossible. But it was a ton of fun. Got to hang out, talk to the guys and girls there.
Put that in perspective, because like
I don't know if I should tell like what actually happened.
No, I mean like how hard the questions are.
Oh, they're really hard. Like
because they're talking about like random conservation laws and
like I'll give away the first one. So the first one was, which state has the highest amount of elk?
Bulls
harvested every year.
Is it elk or just bulls?
Just elk.
Oh.
Colorado.
Why? Why would you think that?
Because that's where you go.
You would be correct. But yeah, so.
I guess maybe that's the only reason.
It did give, there was 4 states. I think it was Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, and Wyoming maybe. Or
I think Idaho was on there.
Idaho is number 2, actually.
That's why I think they're on there.
Yeah, you're right.
When I think elk hunting, I think Colorado. Just anybody that I know personally.
The reason I went with that answer was because it has the largest herd, and it's one of the easiest states. You can just go over the counter.
That's why, yeah. That would make sense.
Yep. Yeah, so.
There were some
really hard questions, and like some that I had absolutely no clue. Like there was one about something in Scotland, so my answer was like freedom. Because Wallace.
I was in the room filming some clips for our video.
Yeah.
And I was like playing along, on my own. I think I got 3 right. That's it.
Wow. Out of how many? Sorry.
I don't want to 10.
Okay.
Their average, I think, for like every, not guess, like the normal people is like the average answers correct is like 4.8 or 4.9. So.
Okay.
It's it wasn't easy.
All right. Well, when we get to hear the actual results, I expect you to be above average. That's my expectation of you.
We'll see. It'll be there. But yeah, like I said, it was really cool to meet them, put face with the names. I mean, big fans of the shows, I guess. And so we got to hang out with Giannis Patelis. So Latvian Eagle is what Steve called him, but it turns out
he made his own nickname.
He made his own nickname. So it was kind of funny giving him some crap about that. But we did some air squat running, air squat shooting workout. And at first you could tell he was kind of like, oh, what's the point of this? And then middle of it, he was like, oh, this is pretty good. So it was cool. And actually for a big man, he's like, what, 6'2", 6'3"-ish, Rory size?
Yeah.
Squats really well.
Really?
Yeah, I was surprised at like depth was good.
Squats really well.
Yeah, like at first, he's got such long femurs, knees were in just a touch, so I had him pull him out, and I mean, just right there, made quick, good adjustments. It was cool to see.
275. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking where I was at super squats.
Oh, you still
No,
doing
sorry.
that?
Good. Carry on.
No, you're good.
My bad. I misheard you. You went out squat me and compare me to that man.
So that
How well does he squat?
That was a ton of fun. Yeah, got to talk about maybe the possibility they're putting in a gym at Meat Eater, so maybe some relationship there in the future. And then we actually too, as a side, Angelo wearing his Sitka there, got to hang out with Sitka a little bit, go to their store, check out some of their stuff. They gave us stuff for this year, hunting. So it was cool to we've got a couple Sitka products, but like I said, they just gave us some for this season. But to get your hands on and see what all they offered, so it's cool.
I was shocked to see that you actually you found a local gym and worked out. I thought you'd probably take the week off.
2 local gyms.
It was basically an affiliate tour.
Yeah, we did an impromptu. It was a packed week,
itinerary.
Day and a half.
2-3 days. Yeah, 2 days.
It was a day and a half.
We stopped
in
at
Bozeman.
2 different Mayhem affiliates. One morning before we went to Meat Eater, we just stopped by the gyms just to talk to them, and didn't know if we'd actually have time to make classes because we weren't. Bird was real secretive with the itinerary. No, we didn't really have an itinerary. It's just an active joke we have every trip we go on with Bird. But so I just went and stopped and talked to the owner of the first one, and then just one of the coaches at the second one, and we're like, oh yeah, no, we'll try to come back. And so we ended up going back to
No call ahead. You just showed up and you're like, hey, what's up?
I like the random just drop in. I did tell him we might be back, and then we went back that afternoon to CrossFit Bozeman, and then went to Highlight CrossFit. I keep saying Highlight CrossFit, but both Mayhem affiliates, both super packed, strong classes. We went to an afternoon class at Bozeman, and then we went to the morning class at Highlight, and just like here at 8:15, it's packed. Like it was an 8:30 class, and ton of fun. So we met some really cool people. CrossFit community is alive and well in Bozeman, Montana. Got to be really out of breath at altitude, so that was fun.
I thought it was crazy that we have enough affiliates to where, I mean, everywhere we go, pretty much we can find one, but we found 2 in the same city.
And they were like about the perfect distance apart, probably like 20, 25 minutes. So, like you would go to one or the other based on where your location is. So, like I said, really, really cool communities at both. Ton of fun.
True story, and leads into my next question for you. I was living in Bozeman, Montana in my this is in
formative years.
This is in the early 2000s. So that's where I was when I first started personal training and got like my alphabet soup. I got my NASM personal trainer license when I worked there. It was a very dry winter, and so there was not a lot of skiing to be done.
It was 50 degrees when we were there.
Yeah, isn't that wild?
People were like, it was negative 40 last week.
They have incredible snow seasons, but this was one that's probably more like this
everybody
year.
was freaking out. They're like, it's 50 degrees. It's usually, like I said, negative 40. Crazy.
Yeah, it gets wild there.
Crazy.
And they've exploded recently. So the question that I was going to lead into is what would you like did you like the city? I was surprised by, Scott didn't say he didn't like it, but he was surprised. You were surprised by how small it was?
It was just different than what I expected.
It's pretty spread out and sprawling.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like,
I would say
we went to like downtown for dinner one night.
Yeah.
And
that little main
cool.
street, I think,
yeah,
is really
little
cool.
main street was really cool, but it was smaller.
Yeah.
Like you hear Bozeman, you're like, oh, it's like a huge city.
I
Everybody's like, oh, it's it's blown up, and you're like,
Not that big.
it was cool. It was all I
Yeah.
loved it. Like that's a place I would go and live. Like
I think that's what's cool about Montana is like it is big for Montana,
which I love.
Yeah, me too.
Like that. I'm not knocking it whatsoever.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was great. And then found a good little coffee shop there too that we went to twice. So
yeah, I thought it would be more like a touristy trap ski city. That type of like Vail or something. I don't know, but I prefer how it was than what I thought.
There was this was cool. The coffee shop was right here. There was it said like I don't know if it was a personal training gym type thing, but you could see kind of through the tinted glass, there was echo bikes and like squat rack and stuff like that, some med balls. And then right over there was an archery place. I was
yeah.
I wouldn't even have to leave, you know.
Wow.
I could
Just do a little
just live
circuit
here, right?
Yes.
So
So
build a studio apartment right there.
Yep, I'm just gonna live right here. And so yeah, that was cool. Yeah, it was. I would go back to
Compared
Bozeman,
to a
Montana for
city
sure.
that I would know, maybe. Obviously not Nashville. Not is
No,
anything
no,
like
no.
Cookeville?
Ish, maybe.
Knoxville, Chattanooga.
Maybe ish. It's like
something like
Cookeville,
that.
but it was like spread out. Like I said, it was like 20 minutes of you're in
Grand
kind of
Junction.
Grand Junction. Yeah, Grand Junction. Bigger than Grand Junction, I think. Right?
I don't know. It
I
feel
don't know.
it feel
No, I guess.
Rifle. It's bigger than Rifle.
Yeah, bigger than Rifle. I don't know. It was just different than I expected.
cool.
It was cool. I mean, and then there's a ton of outdoor companies based there.
Really?
Yeah.
We didn't realize it. We'd be like, oh, there's so and so. There's whatever, you know. So
it was like
cool.
Outdoor Company HQ.
Oh, that's cool.
Western outdoors type
Yeah,
stuff.
Western.
So,
There's probably 8 or 9 companies.
so it was
That's
fun.
where
Fun trip, cool trip.
that hut skiing trip that I went on with the Chans last year. We started in Bozeman.
Oh, okay.
I got a really good buddy there.
Nice.
And then went to the Blacktooth Mountains, which are right close by. But yeah, dude, it's a great part of the country.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And waking up and seeing like out of our Airbnb was like felt like the movie Yellowstone. And I don't know if you saw my Instagram, but turkey hunting there
Oh, yeah, they were like right outside.
might be, you know, one of the easier things to do. Like, I mean, this is right out of our Airbnb. It was just
It's cool.
so. Yeah, did you see that video?
Of
The turkeys?
Yeah.
You know, like here, a turkey sees you from a half mile off, it's gone. These turkeys, like we were Scott's chasing them around. Hey, help me with my Airbnb. And they just like gobbled at him.
Although I will say here, like I feel like they know when the season is.
Yeah, that's true with the
Oh,
season.
yeah.
It starts
Sometimes you
getting
drive by when
pressure.
it's out of season and they're just like, "What's up, dog?
What's up,
You know,
man?
like
What
next
you
to
gonna do?
the road.
Yeah, I guess
Speaking
it
of
depends
that,
on where you're at.
43% of mature bucks change their daily routine
Habits.
on
saw that
opening
too.
day. Like archery opening day. Like you could maybe think like, okay, rifle opener where like they kind of hear gunshots. They think, oh, maybe it's some archery season. Like the day, that Saturday, 43% of them. They did a study in like Pennsylvania for 10 years.
I think I read that too.
Would
I
they
think it
do
was on
collar
Meter,
the deer?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Half of the mature deer change what they do on opening day. It's crazy. Because, like, you know, they always say, you hear someone say, oh, they must read the paper. They know when opening day is. And
They know.
They might.
They know.
They might be able to.
Well, that is
They go
wild, though.
nocturnal.
Right?
Like, what do they attribute that to? Is it the change in the season, or do they
No, I think
literally
it's
know?
Literally, I think probably I bet the temperature and
moon,
yeah,
I don't
all
know.
of it, like,
Well,
basically all of it. And then it's that similar time of year. I mean, maybe it's not that, that's probably why it's 43%.
two, There's more hunters in the woods that
Yeah.
day. So what happens?
Yeah, they push
They're
them
scent,
around. They
They're
scare
pushing them around. So
Yeah.
of course that has a huge. I
Yeah.
guarantee that's one of the huge attributing
For
factors.
sure. And I think I told you this story already, but like we had that one big buck on our camera in our property. And so me and Gus went out there on opening day, and I forget what the time was. It was supposed to, like, let's just say 5:30 was when you could shoot. And it was 4:29. And then at 4:30, he was like, "You think he's coming back?" And you heard ba-bam, bam, ba-bam, bam. It sounded like a Civil War like reenactment. There was like gunshots everywhere. And I was like,
Nope.
I don't think he's coming back, dude.
He gone.
I think he's gone.
He gone.
But that would definitely make me change my behavior too if I was like walking through a war zone.
Yeah.
But
Hey, it's just thunder. You know.
Yeah,
like
but-
thunder.
true.
You never know.
But yeah, I mean, that's like, I chased a bird around on my bike one day right behind the station. I just was a turkey. I was just riding my bike, and he was like up on a hill because I'd rode through a parking lot, and he was just up on a hill. I'm like, I'm gonna see how close I can get to him. I mean, seriously, like you guys are saying, I got like right up next to it. But again, that's a bird that lives in the city who's
That's
never
true,
been
yeah.
hunted.
Yeah,
There's
that's
no
true.
idea.
I did have my bow in the car and seriously considered.
Oh, just
Taking it,
smoking
but,
one.
yeah.
Target practice.
I didn't really, people, but
I had one up on
you're just a poacher.
up on Pfeiffer. I was just riding the bike trails, and I had never seen one fly. True story.
Oh yeah.
And
I
I
have
scared him up
several
somehow,
times.
and it like just swooped at my face, basically. You know, like
Oh,
almost
that's
knocked me
cool.
off my bike.
Yeah, they won't fly far.
No.
We learned that last year. Sometimes they will. Sometimes you shoot them right out of the tree. They fly into it, which is legal.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How about onto fitness? Because dude, the vibe in Mayhem is good right now.
It was packed. You know, we got Mayhem Athlete camp going on. You know, that's the big thing. I think, I don't want to say it separates us. One of the cool things we had here for years when I was competing was we had a good training group. It was fun to work out. It's fun to hang out with everybody. So that's one of the things I don't want to say we've been missing, But one of the things that is
That set
when
us
I
apart,
stepped
think.
away
Yeah.
from competing, you know, I'm still working out every day. I'm still in there, but I'm not like if there's something like, oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do that. I still train pretty like,
Yeah,
you know, like
you're working out.
I'm working out, and I don't want to get in
This
your
time
guys'
of
way.
season,
Like
for
I'm
sure.
like, all right, I'm going to go over here and, you know, sit on and do whatever, or your guys' times just don't align or whatever. So, you know, one of the things we're talking about doing and starting with this athlete camp is like having a 9:30 training group at like, because there's the deal is like, you know, we would get there at 9:30 and we would start doing stuff, and then, you know, the girls would roll in 10:30, 1 o'clock, you know, like you just never know when they're going to show up. So I think we're going to have a standing kind of 9:30 group. Dom's going to lead that. I think Foster, Dom, Lockhart, myself will kind of work on the programming for that, but just get kind of that group back together in the morning and see if, you know, that works, and then have kind of an afternoon group. Not that like there's still probably 5 people that work out together, and then you got a group of 2 or 3 over here and a group of 4 or 5 over here. So it's like, hey, let's try to bring it together and just see.
Just
what
one,
we can
even if
do.
it's once a day, we do that
Even if
thing,
it's
and
once
then
a
everyone
day.
kind of break off and do their
Man, it's just
individual
more
stuff
fun
they want
suffering
to.
together. Like that's what it's
Yeah.
about. Like I know everybody gets caught up, and the closer it gets to competition, the harder that will be. But this time of year, I think it's great. You know, up until like April, May, I think you can do that, and then it gets weird at times because you're competing against guys and girls around, and you know,
Hard to pull back.
It's easier on the team.
Yeah.
But no, it's like harder to pull back, but also you're like, well, you know, if they see my time or, you know, like it's just, it gets weird. Like as much as we all want to sing Kumbaya and say it's, oh, you know, we're all for each other. You still want to win. You still want to have an upper hand. You still, you want them to get, you want them to do well. You want them to get second, you know, like, sorry, you know, like that is what it is. And let's just like, let's cut the crap, you know, like, it gets weird. Like me and Dan, like when Dan lived with me, and I apologize for this later, it got weird. Like 6 to 8 weeks out, you know, like 4 weeks before regionals, and then a couple weeks out from the games, you're just like, you know, like trying to sneak out and get a little one up on them. You know, like it is what it is. And so,
like we made that agreement when I moved here. It was like, we're just not going to work out together. Don't want to.
Even though every time I try to get you to work out, I got this.
I don't
want
to make it weird, man. I don't want to
make this weird. Yeah.
It doesn't help for us that like going to semifinals, like half the East semifinals in Cookeville.
Yeah, that's the hard part now.
Yeah, pretty much every athlete that's going to qualify out of that thing.
And I think if you have like certain groupings of athletes too, you could cook yourself with the wrong environment. So like it is kumbaya in that sense, where I think that there's not people who hate each other's guts, right? Because that certainly existed elsewhere, I believe. But
like what we have to do is put parameters on it. It's like, hey, this is as fast as you can go on the bike, or this is the desired stimulus. Let's not try to bury each other every day, because you will get buried. Like Roman,
that's how you get overtrained.
Roman is just Roman wants to go hard every day. I was talking to Jorge this morning, and you can tell Jorge is just like, nah, dude. Like some days, like the point of the workout is, let's get some work in, some volume in. Roman's just going hard, which is nothing wrong with that. If that works for him, like then go for it. But I learned after being an individual, you get burnt out real quick doing that.
He picked you as a partner yesterday so he could win, right?
He picked me as a partner because
he had the best chance to win.
The chance to win or the least amount of rest.
Yeah.
He didn't want to have a bad workout because he was waiting on somebody else to do legless rope climbs, I think. Like, if you're going to pick anybody in the group to do legless rope climbs with besides Angelo, it's probably me. So Angelo was with Sam already. So Roman basically was like, I'm not doing with Jorge. He's too weak.
He literally said that to Jorge.
He said, he's too weak.
He's too weak. I go with you.
Yeah.
He was standing right there, too.
Yeah, Jorge's right there. I'm like, damn, man.
Well, you know what? It was really funny. Like when the whole AI thing did go down, I spoke to Rosa. And one thing that she said that really resonated with me was like, look, like the turns of phrase and stuff that Americans use are so much different than what Russians use.
Oh yeah.
Like, and they're far more direct, and they say what they want to say, and then vice versa. It's like if you tell somebody who's just learned English and they're Russian specifically, if you're like, dude, you're the shit, they take it personally. They're like, you what?
Yeah,
you know, stuff like that. It just doesn't. There's no direct translation for that. You know.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was really calling Jorge weak. He was probably. But he was. I guess.
Yeah. He doesn't know,
I think he was.
He doesn't know how else to say it, really.
Exactly. Yeah. He's like,
that's how someone would say it to him, and that's how he would say it.
Right.
Yeah. So it's good. It's been fun having everybody in there. And then I mean the hard part too is like logistics on training. Like if you have a bunch of people in there, you got to get creative either with how you set up or
what
like
equipment
designing
you use.
workouts and stuff like that. So that's going to be the tricky part, but I think we can figure it out. We did a lot of one-to-one stuff. Everybody's like, oh, you're only do one-to-one. You can't get good at it. You can,
Yeah.
you know, and you can get cute with how you make workouts where waterfall style or whatever. So 2 is 1 and 1 is none. The Airwave Mayhem Hybrid Pack gives you 1 HIIT mouthpiece and 1 endurance mouthpiece in our traditional Mayhem blue, so you're covered no matter the sport. 1 innovative technology, 2 performance-driven designs. For podcast listeners only, get the Mayhem Hybrid Pack 15% off at www.airwave.com/Froning.
By the way, have you seen what's programmed for tomorrow, even for masters athletes?
Chest to bar and dumbbell thrusters.
No, dude, like 1 million rope climbs.
One
No,
day?
it is thruster and chest to bar. You're right.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Saturday.
Is
Somebody
it a
sent
team
to-
workout or partner workout?
He's a partner workout, but it's still like 20 legless apiece. Like,
Sounds fun.
Sounds good to me.
yeah, it's out of reach. That's
Sign me
out of
up.
reach from you, dog.
Rich tried to kill us the Saturday before we left for Meat Eater. With
Did I?
it was that workout, the second one we did Saturday. You can say what it is in a second, but it was the first one in a while where I was
I saw you like not happy.
yeah, I was
thought-
like, this was aggressive.
What was it? What did you guys do?
And
So
a lot
we-
of workouts we do are aggressive, but this one I was like,
We
this
took-
is
nowhere
really
to hide.
aggressive.
We took a Mayhem compete piece, changed it up just a little bit. It was like a partner run, ski, bar muscle up or something like that.
yeah.
But we did every 5 minutes, 30 cal bike, 20 cal ski, 10 bar muscle up. And so we did 6 sets of that. I mean, 60 bar muscle ups is probably a little aggressive.
Well, I'd like to also preface that I went into that workout, not after it. Into that workout, my lats were sort of the touch from a chest to bar workout
Okay.
I did the day before.
My lats don't get sore. It's my arm middles, my bicubital
Oh,
space, I think is what they call that, And this is your weenus, in case you're wondering.
Yeah, my weenus
Um,
hurts
but anyway.
most days.
Yeah. And so
Seriously.
the next workout, I thought it was good. Might have been a little aggressive. It's happened before.
It was great.
So it started out as 100. It's supposed to be 100 double unders, 100-foot lunge with 75 or 70s, 100 double unders, 10 bench with 70s, right? And then we were like, this way we can do more sets. Let's make it 50 heavy double unders. Get the arms toasted a little, change the stimulus a little bit.
You'd cut the reps in half.
Cut them in half to 50. So I'm like, perfect. And then I look at it and I don't love it. I'm like, we need 50 at the end too, That was probably, that.
So then it went to 75% of the volume, but with heavy handle, heavy rope.
Yeah. So we did 4 sets of that?
Yeah.
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 And it was 1-to-1.
AJ was telling me about this. Said it was messed up.
It was pretty messed up.
It was
Honestly, it was okay until you got back from the lunge, the 50 back on the lunge. You're like, this kind of sucks.
the last set I dropped the dumbbell, not because of my legs, because my shoulders were so blown up, I couldn't hold the dumbbells on my shoulder.
I was good because I was going like, this was when Ben posted that on Instagram, like when you do 1-to-1
Yeah,
with me,
not
that it's
really
not
1-to-1.
1-to-1. I was like 345 and Ben was like 415. So I was like,
Just enough extra.
yeah, just enough to like just keep burying him.
That's
right.
what-
The only difference really in our pace was the fact that I wouldn't break the lunge. He would take like a brief little walk, pick them back up. I just don't like cleaning 70-pound dumbbells to my shoulders. So I'm like, just get them on there and go. And then he would break the last set of double unders because that does get pretty grippy and
yeah.
shouldery. So that would give me just enough to be like, all right, let's go.
Get some extra rest here.
It was good. It was good.
So
And
hard.
Ben was like, I don't think 10 bench is enough, blah, blah, blah. And
Oh
I'm
my
like, after you
gosh.
do all that shoulder and forearm and blah, blah, blah. And we got back to it and he's like, 10's enough, so it was good. It was fun. It was a fun workout, I thought.
It was a good work. I think not in the circumstances that my body was in that
Well,
day.
previous to that, we did a ton of
Yeah,
bike erg too.
it might have been a little more like I would have done you did it the right stimulus. I would have
Yeah.
been closer to the desired stimulus.
Yeah.
But I was just for completion at that point.
Yeah. If you want to do it maybe like around every 8 minutes would be good too. If you don't have 1-to-1 partner.
J Webb was giving me crap the whole time because he's like he was telling me that if I want to like scale it, he has tips for me on how
Yeah.
to,
Oh, because
I
he's
was
a
going-
master
well,
scale
and
guy.
I was going so slow and like dying, but I was not going to scale it.
That's good.
Knowing what you know about Scott, serious question, and he'd be honest about anything with you. So be
Yep.
honest. Like,
Yep.
if he didn't have the massively full-time load of work that he has, how good of an athlete do you think he could be?
I think
He's
he
a
could,
grinder.
I mean, he could do well in quarterfinals, semifinals. There's some holes there that we would have to fix. But like Scott can there's some workouts that Scott can just home run.
Yeah.
like anything with cardio,
Running.
anything running, but machines is really good at. His pulling, deadlifting is really good. Your squatting you're so damn tall. It's just like you're good, but not like
I'm good top end strength.
Yeah, but for reps,
volume is
for
tough,
reps.
Biggest problem would be any like handstand push-ups.
Yeah, anything pressing overhead.
Yeah,
He's a good bench.
yeah.
Good with bench. Like we did a workout. It was it 20 minutes, 1,000 bike,
20-minute with bike,
100 dubs, and
yeah.
10 bench at 195. And the first probably 4 rounds, we end up getting like 6 rounds or something like that.
Yeah.
Scott was like making me go harder than I wanted to go, and so
And then I
was
died.
I was like, you son of a, and then slowly died. But no, I mean, Scott's an incredible athlete, and like, not like I go back to like when we go in the mountains and stuff. There's 0 person I would rather have around than Scott. Like,
Aw.
well, I mean, like, he's at no point is he ever going to question like, hey, let's go up, let's go up there. He's like, okay, let's go. You know, like
That's
the
the
only thing he
robotic
might
side.
question is just like the tactic on it. He's like, the wind and all, which I value. Like, I need that.
Yeah, you need the pushback.
And so
I think that's where my physical skill set is the best. Is like
is the mountain dude.
that
You
kind of
if you
stuff.
if you tell Scott, hey, we're going back to camp, you might as well just like start jogging ahead of him. He's got the long legs, and if it's like this, I've not met anybody that can walk with him. Like not yet. It goes to here, then we're like I can go, I can get him there.
Or a side hill.
Or a side hill.
Done.
He's not
I'm
side
done on a
hilling. Or if
side
we
hill.
add a little bit of weight, like that's my only advantage is if the pitch the greater the pitch gets, the more I can like keep up or pass. But if it's like this, you might as well just give up. And like I'm always like, Scott, we're not doing go home mode. Like chill out. He's like a drone. Like if you hit go home, he's just like whoa,
Flies
just
up
gone.
altitude,
You're like,
makes a straight line.
Son of a. Yeah,
do you
so-
ever aspire to compete?
No.
No.
Not even.
And it's not because I don't want to compete. It's because my interests and like what I'm motivated to do in other avenues, like media, our business, all that kind of thing, will always interfere with that.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me, that stuff like gets me going more than competing.
Sure, I get that.
But you're also competing in that, like
Yeah.
we had this conversation
I'm
with
super competitive.
we had this conversation on Meat Eater, and Ranella didn't play sports or anything like that, but he's hyper competitive apparently. You could tell in trivia. And they were like, well, you don't compete. That's like one of those listener questions, like, you don't compete, why are you so, or like, do you like competing, or what was that?
They said you never played organized sports. Like, how are you so, or why are you so competitive?
And I was like, hunting is the ultimate competition. Like, literally, it's the and that's what and after I said that, he was like, yeah, like at basic level, that's what we did. Like that's how you competed. That's the first competition there ever was.
Kill the biggest animal.
That or just kill an animal. It's you versus the animal to feed your family.
Yeah.
That's literally the basis of competition is hunting. Other than
Or even
people
peel it back a
conquering.
little bit more is like survive.
Yeah.
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 How do you know who
exactly.
won?
Yeah.
Well, he's alive
Well,
still.
he's alive. He's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
hunting and then gladiators.
Yep.
That was the evolution of it.
Well, that was for game, really.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Though.
Yeah.
Like that was probably the second competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I read Long Hunters, or listened to Wrong Hunters. Listened to Long Hunters, and it's him and Clay Newcomb. It's an audio book. Man, it's awesome. It's cool. It talks about Daniel Boone. I think what's so cool about it is I'm a history nerd. I'm into hunting, and then it's basically about this area of the country where we live right now. And so to think what these guys did, leaving their family for a year or a couple months, setting up, a backcountry kind of trading post or a place to put all these deer skins, and then just hunting for a year. And like, it's a cool book. It's a good read. Solid.
That's crazy.
So yeah.
I said something. I didn't like the way that I said it earlier, where I was like, "Oh, Rich can be picky and choosy." Andrew's probably just like got a claw for life. I didn't mean to say that, but with partnerships, we're talking. This is a hard right turn.
Did you say it like that? I thought.
I didn't mean it like that. If it came out that way,
I don't even know what you're
Angela has
talking
to
about.
beg for scraps.
I didn't mean it that way.
No, I
But
think
that's how it came
I
out.
think I am in the same boat, as in like I was thinking about.
You got a
the
grown
other
up
Well, you have a
job.
real job, yeah.
Yeah, we're like, that's where I can be. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say, yeah, like
Oh.
yeah, exactly. Lay it out for me.
Oh,
Like
yeah, I
when you
mean,
think about partnering with groups, brands, partners, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, that's part of the whole uncancelable thing, that I don't work with anyone who I wouldn't want, who I wouldn't. I mean, yeah,
you do a great job of like, they know what they're going to get.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
like uncancelable
exactly.
wise, like I'm going to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to do what I'm going to
Yeah.
do.
Which actually I like this a lot, because Jake actually sent me a DM. Jake Powers from Mountain Ops. We have so many Jakes around here. I have to clarify.
100%.
He sent me a DM of me talking on the Wadapalooza podcast. I was like, and he thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I was like, so there you go. Like, that's why we choose who we choose, because they're part of our culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't work with anybody if I couldn't find somebody that I didn't align with. So
yeah. And I think like,
I don't mind.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. Like the uncancelable thing doesn't just mean like, hey, I'm going to be verbose and say whatever I want to say, but it's like at the end of the day,
I'm gonna give you my valid opinion.
Yeah.
well, not just that, but like I'm a grown up, and like if you take away my Instagram,
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still making the same living because I'm
Wait,
not out there
exactly.
trying to be an
Yeah.
influencer.
You mean there's life outside of Instagram?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the whole thing, is that you could take down all my social media and it literally wouldn't. It would only do good in my life. It would only do good things in my life.
You heard that, everybody. Unfollow Angelo, not me. I like how you post a deer video and all you get is love and credit and praise.
Yeah, everyone loves
Somebody
it.
commented that, and
Yeah.
I actually was on the Mayhem Hunt Instagram and commented. I meant to do it on mine.
Did
and
you
it was
see
like,
what I put?
I was like, preach. No.
Oh, you didn't see what I put?
What'd you put?
Oh, I'll say it.
Okay.
Let me read it though.
Okay.
Oh, I know what he put. Oh no.
Is it good?
It's good.
Is it family friendly? Because apparently we're a family friendly show, and
Is it family
Seth
friendly?
said a bad word in our last. No, I'm just kidding. Seth said a bad word. Ben found it apparently.
It was in there?
Yeah. Ben goes, man, I'm sorry. I usually get those out of there.
What do you say?
He dropped an F-bomb. I don't know if it was on camera or like in passing or something, but
Not on a podcast, just on a video.
On the video. So we're sorry.
We're
We're not perfect.
sorry.
What's the I love Jesus, but I cuss a little bit?
I mean,
Yeah.
we're
grown ups.
For me,
What I love
that's-
about the Pat McAfee show, have you seen? Like as on the ticker on the bottom, it's like we're grown ups, and sometimes there's
Yes.
some adult language in here because that's how adults speak. Like, yes, like I know there might be some kids listening, but my kids hear it too. So
listen, my son listens to New Heights.
yeah.
And like they cuss like sailors, and I think that he's mature enough to like filter himself how he thinks he should present himself.
Right.
But I filter myself tremendously in Cookeville, period.
Right.
Because I'm like, my wife. I mean, she still does like kind of cuss like a sailor, and I love it about her. She's just like
from
she is who
Michigan.
she is.
That's just what we do. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm bad about that. I've censored it on videos for years, and I think I said shit one time, and people were like,
Yeah.
like, come on.
Dude, how does Rich Froning get endless hate and everyone cheers you on? Nice shot, by the way. And you said preach. I said because at Rich Froning has a bunch of liberal sissy boys following him. I've already weeded all of those out of my followers.
Uncancelable. This session of the Rich Froning podcast is brought to you by Uncancelable by Angelo DeChico. That'll make it in the clip.
We should just every episode we should have one moment where Angelo tries once again to
Soapbox.
cancel himself.
We should have an Angelo soapbox. What's Peter really grind my
Yeah.
What this really
Yeah,
grinds my
really
gears
grinds my
section
gears.
of the show. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of things that might grind Angelo's gears,
no.
Rose sent us a text of like different podcast topics, and
The Open?
He had Angelo's Open on there.
Angelo
I don't know what
in
that
the Open,
means,
on the
but I
Open.
know
Angelo
he
in the
doesn't
Open.
want to do it.
Yeah, what does that mean?
You know the best part of retiring?
Is that you're still in the Open.
I don't have to do the Open. I will do all of the workouts, but I am not putting my score in the leaderboard.
I think to preface it too, like we like the Open, but you guys
think it's
don't like
great.
the competition.
I don't like the competition of the
Yeah.
Open. Yeah.
Why did I put you in there? Is because for that reason, like to you,
I'm the
it's
only one that's really doing it.
It's the only one that
your
matters to.
competitor. It's relevant. It's coming up.
Is it relevant? No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean, if you're going to
is.
try and
It's
win the CrossFit Games,
not really. It could be. I don't think it could.
It
there's-
means less this year, right, than it ever has.
Well, for us it's the
competitors,
same,
yeah.
but it's 25% of teams go to quarterfinals. 1/4 of the
Which
teams.
I honestly, I know this is a hot take because everybody, all the pundits want the Open to be, matter and all this stuff. No, the Open
perfect.
is about the community. The Open is about.
I think it's perfect the way it is.
And I think the less emphasis on the Open for the higher level athletes is better.
Yeah, I think
There's no it's awesome that Joe, whoever that's a dancing ballerina in North Dakota, can do win an all body weight workout. It's awesome. They get to showcase that, but it's not. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
It shouldn't mess up your chance to go to the CrossFit Games when they win one workout and get 1,000th place.
Yeah.
The open leaderboard is the worst. Like there almost needs to be
it's so
like
bad.
a bell curve to it. Like if you're,
Don't get me started.
I don't want to get too in the weeds, but when I competed, I think it's awesome for the community. It's awesome for gyms. You have the Friday Night Lights, that type of stuff. But as a competitor, I absolutely hated.
It has to be less stressful now. Like for competitors, it's
for sure.
Still,
here's every Tom, Dick, and Harry's going to look at your score and be like,
he's slipping.
Yeah, oh, look at him. He lost on the burpee. He can't thruster. Has one rotator cuff left in his muscle left in his shoulder, and he only thrustered 265.
Well, okay.
Anyway, sorry.
You know where I'm gonna come.
Here we go. Here you go. ELE row.
Well,
go ahead, row.
okay.
Give us the unicorn.
Two sides of it. I think one thing that you're saying that's really really valid, that is good. That again, we said it last time. Like when we were talking about Wadapalooza, I'm like, I come at it a different place because I'm there as a spectator or I'm there as a brand or whatever it is. Like I don't have to think about warming up and all that kind of stuff. So what you're saying, I mean, like, yeah, as a competitor, there's a much different way to view it than a person who owns a gym that has 500 members who some of them are going to have the time of their life.
I said that, Rory. Go ahead.
You said that. You did a great job of that. And I think I actually kind of lost my point here. But oh no, sorry. The people that are looking at the leaderboard.
Dang it.
That's the fun of sports. It's like, and here I can fire Rich up real quick too. It's the same as like Detroit loses the game. They had a massive lead. They lose the lead, and people are blaming the coach, right? But like they're just being sports fans.
That's a soapbox that I want to like.
Let's do it.
As a head
but you see
coach,
the comparison that I'm making. It's like as a fan, you're like, I want to talk about something.
It's to go to the Super Bowl, not the CrossFit Open where people are doing workouts in their garage, filming it and cheating the standards. Sorry, that's just how I feel.
Fair, but in our little niche, like that's like it's everything to some people.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm belittled. I'm speaking from.
It's tough, dude. And like when you in your heyday,
the
Open had to be that much more stressful because those Open announcements were like,
dude, I hate Open announcements.
Froning versus Fraser in an Open announcement where it's like
I hated it.
Massive viewership. Everybody was watching.
Let's pull you into this tiny ass room and crank the heat up to 1,000. Put these lights on you. Oh, you're already the sweatiest human being on the planet.
And
here you go. And hey, we got some of the greatest athletes out here. They're going to get a really cool workout. No, that workout was stupid and it sucks. Sorry.
Right. And
that's just how I feel.
Like, listen, dude, I get it.
We got Ben Smith, Matt Fraser, Rich Froning, arguably at the time, the best Olympic lifters in our sport. Yeah. We're going to get a heavy snatch. No, we're going to do 95-pound thrusters and burpees. What? At the ranch?
Outside.
What? Yeah. So, all right.
And that was peak viewership. That was network television.
As an athlete, people loved it, whatever. I hated that.
I get it. But I'm saying I understand why you hate that.
You couldn't, like, if you go back to that announcement, just that one in particular, look at that announcement, you can see it on my face. You're just like, really? This is what we got? So I'm like, we're going to get that snatch chest to bar. I think that they got the next year or something like that. That would be a fun workout. Be a cool workout to see. No. Let's just have them spin around in circles doing burpees and thruster 95 pounds with 1,000 bars out here.
Yeah.
So
that's even maybe a cool way to. I like the way also that you reframed it, where it's like it does kind of take the pressure off, so it's cool. Like it can be like more of a community event,
community thing,
and
then
focus on the
quarterfinals,
athletes.
Especially for teams. Quarterfinals, you actually get to work as a team. Where when I was on a team and I got away from individual competition because I didn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
And then I had to go back and do individual workouts. So it was kind of.
And then maybe more importantly, by the time the pressure's on, it's when you're at semis because you're on the floor. There's cameras. You're looking for one of very few spots, and because not a lot of people are going to see your semi stuff, except for the fact that we've got awesome media.
Yep.
But it won't be like an open announcement type scenario, you know.
That's enough about CrossFit.
All right, talk about Dan. Soapbox me for Dan Campbell.
Oh man, it would have been moment of silence first. No, it would have been better if we had no chance at all from the beginning.
Yeah,
I was on the plane. Watching it on my phone on the Southwest app, like jumping up and down. Luckily, there was a Lions fan, one person down from me and one in front of me, and I was just ahead of them. But I at one point I jumped up and could see all the way to the front, and I was in the back of the plane. I'm like shaking bird, and
we should preface too for those that watched the game. The plane ride viewing happened
first half,
and then the first
part of the
they tied the comeback. It was tied when we got off the plane.
Yeah,
that was what happened.
And just the hope. You know, like I keep
I mean,
sending.
not hope. It was like almost.
I had so many congratulatory texts when I land, and I was so mad at every single one of them. Like they might be on every single person on that lit might be on my
really
perch.
jumping the gun, dude.
You know, like I was so distraught. Just it took me back to Hawkeye or Ronin, whatever he was. Technically, he's Ronin, but Hawkeye in Endgame when he's like, "Don't give me hope." Like that's what they did. They gave me hope, and then they like the fact. Like, if you look at that 8-minute clip and go through just the number of things, Josh Reynolds dropping 2 passes. Like, I like Josh Reynolds. Josh Reynolds has been great all year.
No one said he's a bad guy.
Nobody says he's a bad guy. He just fell flat on his face in the biggest moments. Like, the 4th down, he should have caught. It was maybe not the greatest of passes, but should have caught. The 3rd down ball that he dropped was a great pass by Goff. And that those things happen, right? Whatever, it's sports. But it happened twice. The Jahmyr Gibbs fumble, who knows who got crossed up on the play. The face mask catch.
Oh,
like,
bro. I mean,
it was just such
luck.
Lions things to happen. Yeah. And then the punt, they could have downed at the quarter-yard line that he's just stepping on the end zone. Yeah. It was just such a, like, one thing after another. After like missed tackles left and right. Cam Sutton getting burnt like toast out of my kid's toast in the morning. Like, it was just one thing after another. It blew my mind. And everybody wants to come back to the Dan Campbell thing.
Calling
and he texted me, he's like, "Oh, you know, is he going to get canned in the morning?" I was like, "If he gets canned, I will abandon the Lions." Like that, Dan Campbell should not be blamed for. I mean, the only thing I would look back and be like,
he left 6 points on the table. Right?
I disagree. The kicker. You look.
And by the way, I'm a Niners fan, and I was still like,
get out of here.
And I was cheering for Detroit.
He did not leave 6 points on the board. We picked up that kicker in the middle of the season. I saw a stat. There's all these people arguing about it. It's not a guaranteed 6 points. It was like a 40-plus yard field goal outdoors. He's an indoor kicker. He's missed. I forgot. It was like outside of 49 yards. I think only one of them would have been outside that, or like right at 48. He was like 48% or something like that. The Lions within 3 yards on 4th down were like 77% for the year. Josh Reynolds had to catch those balls. Like the 3rd down, the 4th down, he should have caught the ball. The 3rd down, we shouldn't even been in 4th down. Like, as a coach, you put your players in the best situation for things to happen. Dan Campbell did that. 100% behind Dan Campbell. Your players are the players are the ones that, you know, and it happens. Those are sports. Like that's sports, and that's why we love sports, and that's why we hate sports. And so, yeah, it was hard. You know, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the season, "Oh, you guys are going to make it to the NFC Championship and you're going to lose," I'd be like, "You're going to lose by 4." I'm like, "Hell yeah, I'm in. Sign me up."
Yeah.
And then
the hope just keeps building through the season.
Now I'm like,
"Oh, they can do it."
That's the way it happened. No, I don't want because not only like nobody gave us a chance. You know, the line I think was 7.5, which is a touchdown and a half, and I still don't understand gambling yet, so I'm not doing it. But I know 7.5 means a touchdown or touchdown and a half. But anyway, I mean, we had that game won. We had it won, and then they just and you know, congrats to San Francisco. They did what they needed to do, and then the whole Brock Purdy story is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I think the thing that gets glazed over in the Dan Campbell hate is that the defense gave up 27 points
in like 8 minutes. Or I mean, not in 8 minutes.
Yeah, but whatever
17,
it was,
they lost 17 points in 8, and just like
no one's
but the offense, the offense also gave them really good field position. In some, like, you know, Jahmyr Gibbs fumbled inside the 25, which Jahmyr Gibbs has been incredible all season. So like, I don't want to like nail down the players and say, "Oh, it's all their fault." It just sucks.
They Lions did. I texted Rich sometime on the plane. I was like, "I don't know how you've put up with this for so many years."
I have, man. And part of you, I guess, that 36 years previous to this has set me up to be okay after a day or two. You know, like on Monday I was pretty upset and in mourning, wearing my, you know, burlap and ashes. But by Tuesday on the flight home, I had my Dan Campbell shirt back on. You know, like
we stopped in. We had a long layover in Denver, and we're watching the 4th quarter of the game. And the waitress came and she's like, "What do you guys want to drink?" I'm like, "Oh, water's fine." And as she's walking away,
no, she goes, "How you guys doing?" And I said, "I'll let you know in 5 minutes." As she walks away to the kitchen, she says, "Go Niners." I was like, "You're not gonna tip." I was like, and I'm wearing a Barry Sanders jersey. You know, like I was like, I wanted to. I just kept my mouth shut as I'm like disheveled, watching our team just fall apart. I was like,
"What a move!
Really? That's what you go with?
What a move!"
They got off the plane, and I was already waiting. And I was like, "Man, I can't believe that happened." Like, I was genuinely trying to like mourn it with Rich. He's like, don't even start. He was pissed.
I invited Sam and Zoe over to watch it.
I bet Sam was.
And yeah, he got real quiet towards the end. But before that, so what was the score at one point? Was it 24-7?
Yeah. 24-7.
I think when they scored
27, was it? No, I guess they kicked that field goal to make it 24-7. Everybody's like, well, how come he changed his viewpoint in the second half? And you're just like, shut up. You kicked a 30-whatever yard field goal. Like, yeah, you take the points there, but then you try to get some momentum back. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. When I think
I've been arguing with people on the internet, on Twitter. I was so mad that night. I was just like, I got nothing else to do. We're sitting here in Denver airport, and everybody's tweeting, oh, Dan Campbell's such an idiot. Dan Campbell sucks. I'm like, you know what? You suck.
How would you try it?
I never get on there and like do any arguing. I'll just do my subtle jabs. But I was like retweeting all kinds of stuff, and people are arguing with me, and I'm like, no, you're wrong.
You should have used the Dumb and Dumber quote where he says, sorry, you never ever make a mistake,
Yeah.
Mr. Perfect.
Mr. Perfect. And, he owned it. Like, in the press conference, he's like, yeah, man. But
they scored to get 24 points, and it was like the game was going so it's before halftime, and I looked down and they're like Sam's like cheering or whatever. I'm like, don't anyone say anything. Zoe goes, it's going pretty good, isn't it? And I go, what are you doing?
Zoe, it's her fault.
Yeah, it's all her fault. She goes,
I
it's
hate her
going
even
pretty
more
good.
now.
And the Pistons.
And the Pistons have won 5 games. Every game that they've won in the last however long is a Lions loss. I'm like, you couldn't lose one more? Nobody cares about basketball anyway.
And they
have
should
a
be
horrible
tanking
record,
right now.
They've got 5 wins. That's tanking enough, like.
They have 5 wins.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew they were doing horrible.
And they beat one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah, I think
I
so.
don't remember.
Okay,
They did. Yeah, it was like a
It was like
I don't follow
120 to
basketball
105.
either.
Me either, but
Yeah.
I saw it on Twitter that day.
Yeah, I saw that.
So that's just where I'm at. Like I said, Josh Reynolds has been great all week. Like, I don't want to like hate on anybody, but couldn't you just catch one? Like, you catch one of those balls, it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And Rich is probably spending a lot of money at the
I
Super Bowl.
also am spending my kid's inheritance to go to the Super Bowl if that happens. And now I'm not going to watch it. I'm just over Patrick Mahomes. And then I'm also, okay, so here's the deal. I read this the other day. Somebody's like, we need to be happy with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. They're happy. I'm happy for them. Quit showing it.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to do that, show every single player's wife or significant other every time they do something. And quit showing her when they just don't even have anything to do with Travis Kelce. Sorry. I know they made $330 million, the NFL did, by the influx of Swifties. Hey, great.
How do they quantify that?
I don't
How are they
know.
quantifying
I
that?
guess
Because I
they
heard
just
that
made
too.
more money. And then also, I hate Nick Bosa or Joey Bosa.
Nick Bosa's
I hate
not
Nick
41,
Bosa's
right?
helmet and Kittle's
me
helmet.
too.
It looks so stupid.
Yeah.
It looks like a
Therefore,
I'll agree with you on
therefore
that.
I will not watch the Super Bowl. Those those
Helmets.
reasons right there. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm boycotting the Super Bowl.
Wow.
I'm gonna
Really?
sit at home.
Nick Bosa, he's Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
It's not even that. I just hate the way his helmet looks. And I get, hey, it's safer for concussions and whatever, but it looks dumb.
It does look dumb.
And Kittle's too. And I actually don't like the face masks that don't have the bars. The visor just goes into the helmet. You notice those two?
I haven't seen that.
Well, that's how those two are, right?
No, they have
No,
this
it's different.
stupid
It's a
It's
weird
like the-
shape,
the
yeah.
stupid
bump out
bubble
in
on the
front,
front.
yeah.
It just looks dumb. I mean, they're in the NFL though. I'm not, so that's what it is. Yeah, I'm just jaded at the moment.
Couldn't tell at all.
Yeah, it's been a rough couple days. I think I'm at. Is that bargaining? What am I at?
Oh yeah, how many stages?
I'm
5 or
bargaining.
7?
I'm bargaining by saying I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. Was that?
Mm.
I was at denial. I never really was at denial. I was just like,
It
When
happened.
you hit acceptance, then you'll watch the Super Bowl.
yeah. I'm in bargaining or depression. I think is where I'm at.
What are they? Yeah, really.
Denial, which I wasn't really in denial.
You were in denial during the comeback.
No, Hillary was texting me. She's like, they can do it. And Hillary never watches football. Like she was more invested in this, I think, because of me and what she saw. And then she would like see things on Good Morning America where they would show, like, she'll just flip it on the TV in the morning or whatever, and they would show, this 66-year-old or 66-year season ticket holder and whatever.
Yeah.
So she was like invested in the story, and she's like, wow, I didn't realize all this and this. And I'm like, yeah. So she was like dead set that I was going to go watch the Super Bowl. Like it was pretty awesome. And then she's like, we went to that divisional round. And she's like, you got to go. I wasn't going to go. I'm like, she's like, once in a lifetime, you have to go. So she was awesome in the whole process. And then, like, the whole time she's texting me, she's like, they can do it. They can still do it. And I'm like, they can't do it.
Yeah.
Did she
It's not going to happen.
Does she like Taylor Swift?
I think she's just indifferent to Taylor Swift. I don't think
So
she,
she's
like,
not.
No, she's not a
Chiefs?
Swiftie by any
Okay.
means. Yeah. So, like I said, I have no problem with like the fact that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift are happy and that they show her once in a while. It would be fine if Kelce did something cool and like celebrates or throws football to her, like whatever. I'm cool with that. But show every other significant other. Like that's my deal.
Right.
With it. And
Or
I
like
get it,
like
making money.
yeah, right. Or like people making graphics of like analyzing how she can get from her Shanghai or wherever it is.
Or the fact
concert
that
to the
you know
Super Bowl
this,
on
you know that
cares.
this is all a sham to get Joe Biden elected again. I saw that one. I
What?
was like, that's a
How's
bit of
that?
a stretch. There's like a far right wing conspiracy that she, aside from being the Antichrist, is like
I've heard that too. That's crazy.
people are nuts.
That she's
man.
a witch from like
Yes, I heard the
200
witch
years
thing.
ago.
That's a bit of a
she's a witch. She looks like one. Sorry. Yeah. It's like some weird conspiracy that she and Pfizer and, you know, because
Oh, that's not that weird.
Kelsey is sponsored
Mr.
by Pfizer.
We call him
that
Mr. Pfizer.
I don't. Can we have to give Aaron Rodgers credit for saying that?
Oh, does he say that,
Yeah,
Mr.
that's what
Pfizer?
Mr. Pfizer. That's
Oh,
what he
that's
started
what
on the
it is.
McAfee show, which Pat McAfee show is incredible. I love
Mr.
the Pat McAfee show. I don't know if you've watched it.
Oh, yeah, he's a treasure.
He's a national treasure. He single-handedly like saved college football game day. He's awesome. But I just like their show that they're just dudes talking. It's not fighting, and you know, it's like us here talking
He's
about
funny.
CrossFit, but way cooler. He's cooler than us.
Speaking of college game day, was his name Andrew with Meat Eater that we
Yeah.
had dinner with?
Yeah.
So he worked for ESPN, and he was
Lee Corso. Is
yeah.
that where
He
we're going with
somehow like got on the game day crew or something.
this? You know, he graduated high school with me, and it was like right
Yeah.
after college, maybe so 08 or 09.
But he was telling us about like a lot. Yeah, 08
In
or
08 or
09.
09.
He saw Lee Corso on game day because he was working like behind the scenes doing something.
This has got to be his last.
And he's
year.
like, man, he's got to be close to his last year, and he's still
Now
going.
it's 2023.
He's-
And
yeah.
that crew really hasn't changed other than McAfee,
No,
which is crazy.
which is crazy, but McAfee's been fun on there.
Lou Holtz is the
Lou
only
Holtz.
one that, yeah, he's the only one that's gone.
I love Lou. I met Lou once. It's CrossFit Games.
Came to the CrossFit Games?
He was at the hotel for one of the athlete dinners. He was staying there speaking or something like
Oh,
that,
cool.
and just came out and somebody knew. I think it was Haynes actually. Knew he was there and was talking to him. He's like, "Hey, one of our guys is a big Notre Dame fan, so I got a picture with him."
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, Lou Holtz.
All right. Well, should we wrap up
Yeah,
on
we
a
should
happier
wrap
note?
up.
Leadville?
What
Well, exactly.
I was about to say, what
we got-
happy
we-
note do we have?
Well, we got one more plug.
Nothing left in life after the Lions didn't make the Super Bowl. There was one chance, one opportunity.
By
To seize
the
everything you ever
They
wanted.
threw
dude,
up
I heard that
spaghetti.
in one
Eminem
moment.
he's gonna help with the comeback.
Would you capture it?
Hell yeah.
They let it slip.
I'm the vomit on the mom spaghetti.
spaghetti.
Yeah.
Spaghetti.
By the time people hear this, you'll have 1 week to raise money to be involved in a drawing.
No,
be
you
one-
don't have to raise money. It's $20, right, for each.
Yeah.
ticket?
So as much.
Buy as many tickets as you want. You're gonna have to raise money after. So
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so buy tickets to be chosen randomly. So like the more tickets you buy, the better chance you have.
do we have an app for that, or how we do
It's on a website.
Oh,
Yeah.
How do we randomly select?
Oh yeah, it's app. It is an app.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you
That's
use,
cool.
like,
I was
the-
like,
That stuff's systematized.
I like it.
Um,
Is it really random though?
well,
Sorry.
I think so because
just
I didn't.
kidding.
Well, the only reason I think so is because I didn't win Cam's truck. Clearly, he would have picked me, right? I mean, like we can all
Yeah.
agree.
If it was fixed.
Cool. Yeah. So $20 gets you one chance.
One,
So every
one
time
drawing.
you buy 20 or throw $20 in there, might as well throw in 100 because it's going to Mayhem Mission anyway.
Correct.
And you will win a chance, or you will get a chance. Your name will be entered into a chance to race Leadville with us, one of the coveted spots.
And coveted seriously because at this point, like even if you're not a CrossFit fan or a Rich Froning fan, you can't get into the race
Yeah.
even through philanthropy anymore, except for these 10 spots.
These 10 spots. And then in that, we're going to do a kind of a training plan. Curtis, we got a couple guys that have done it a couple times. We're all going to, put together different training plans. Like Curtis will share what he does when does a lot of stationary stuff until it gets warm because
Yep.
he lives out in Colorado in Leadville. Myself, Arthur, who's a seasoned veteran.
And really more of a biker, right? So
Yeah.
like they'll have like loosely based on what you did last year. It's like, hey, if you're a CrossFitter and you want to keep your fitness and
Do some biking.
gain a lot
Here
of
you go.
biking fitness,
And so we'll do that. We'll do like a couple bi-weekly or whatever, just check-in calls. If you got any questions, let us know how you're doing, that type of thing. Trying to hook up some swag, some stuff like that.
Yep.
And then I think, like the nutrition, figuring out the nutrition, how to test. This is what we've learned over the last couple of years. Or what I learned a ton last year, and then Curtis having done it a bunch, is super valuable. Like I said, you have a wide array of fitness, or not fitness, of lifestyles. I mean, Curtis is really good. Arthur, for how old he is, finishing sub 12 is awesome. I think he was like 10 hours or something like that. So, and what worked for us, and we're all completely different when you really get down to it. And then once we get out there, we'll do a little pre-ride, that type of thing, and almost exactly what I did last year to get ready for the race, which was massively beneficial.
Yeah. And semi-consistent, like video calls in between. It's not like
that's what I'm saying, like bi-weekly check-ins, video calls, videos, things to think about. Do some like, hey, this is how I test my nutrition. This is what I do to, this is what I use, that type of thing.
Yeah. So the website is mayhemmission.org, mayhemmission.org/win Leadville. And we'll have all the links, like you can find a million places, but
if you guys don't make the CrossFit Games, you should come. Just kidding.
I hope we do. I hope we do make the CrossFit Games.
Just kidding.
I need to get my bike fixed before it gets warm.
You already broke it?
Broke it the first couple
shift
pedals.
hard.
I don't think so.
Oh.
I wasn't even pedaling hard either. I did make a couple.
It's too
I don't
strong,
know.
bro.
Yeah.
Too much power in them legs.
Yeah.
maybe a cliffhanger to end it on.
65 squat.
Maybe next time we talk about why we're not hosting the occupational games.
Yeah, because we're gonna do something cooler. Better.
See you next time.
Hey, would anybody like an in-person Everyday Hero Games? Just let us know. Pit military against fire, against police, against the medical community. I don't know how we would do that, but
We'll figure it out.
yeah, we'll figure it out. Let us know. Give us some thoughts. Comment below. Yes, no, maybe so. What do you like to see?
Peace.
Peace.